Oh, what's up? Good morning, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize anybody was here. How y'all doing? Good to see you, Blackfire, Voltaire, hello. Command Bar, what's up? Ilmanian, good to see you. Swamp. When I see you pop online, I know I'm fucked and stayed up too late. I'm glad I can be your alarm
Did
clock.
we just become best friends?
Thank you very much for the follow there. Debode? Debode, I think is how you say that. Came in clutch. Nice. Good to see you. Good to see you. Merlin has risen. We welcome you. Bringer of coffee. I do bring the coffee. Thank you, Voltaire, for subscribing. That's super kind of you, man. Very kind of you. Good to see you, Duck Boy. How you doing? Welcome back. We got a lively group this morning. I like this. Good to see you guys. Hopefully we can make some progress this morning. I feel like I haven't been very productive the last couple streams. I better check my audio levels. Does my audio sound okay? Do I sound too loud to anybody? Do I sound okay? If I start peaking, let me know. Steven, I'm going to operate on my tonsils in I think the summer break. Oh, really? Yeah, I had my tonsils out, but I was real little. I think I was like in probably kindergarten, maybe first grade when I had my tonsils out. My son also got his tonsils out about that same age too. Well, I wish you all the best with that, for sure, you know. It's a pretty routine surgery now, but anytime you have to go do something like that, it's always a little nerve-wracking. What are we doing today? I think today we're just going to keep trying to pound away on this physical OS project. I'd really like to get to the point where we can start looking at collecting transactions because we haven't implemented the support for webhooks. So I'd really like to get to the point where we can get these accounts connected and then start looking at how we handle the webhook stuff. So I think this might be what we try to do today. I feel like I keep getting too hung up on like the minutia instead of getting the big rocks taken care of. So I might try to focus today and just really power through, ignore all the small stuff.
Did we just become best friends?
Inflow, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Excuse me. Ah, man, that first sip of coffee. Is there anything better? I don't know. First sip of coffee in the morning. Oh, Voltaire, that's too kind. That's too kind, man. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. Crap, I forgot this stupid alert. I keep forgetting. I'm so sorry, man. Thank you very much, Voltaire, for the gifted. That's so nice. Thank you very, very much. That's actually unbelievable that you did that. 5 gifted subs. That's way too generous, man. Way too generous. Very much appreciated. But I don't deserve such kindness. Are you coding a new OS? No, no, not really. I've said this a couple times. I regret the decision I made about the name. It's more of like a play on words, like physical as in financial, operating system as like the central hub where you kind of manage things or do things. But it was a bad name. That's the most gifted subs we've seen on this channel. I'm pretty sure it's the most gifted subs we've ever had on Twitch. So thank you very much, Voltaire. It's very kind of you. There was an achievement. I may have a problem. Well, it's nice to know that Twitch's gamification is working. That's so funny. All right. let's see. So we have add account click. We get the account results. Oh, we need to run the application. Aspire run. Dude, everybody in the world is so excited about AI, and I'm over here just incredibly blown away by Aspire. That's like the thing I'm most excited about. Does that make me a mini whale? Oh, you're a whale for sure. Regardless of your subs or not, the number of times that you've hung out with me on stream makes you a whale in and of itself. Learn code self. Hey, I'm a little confused. I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React, but I don't have a CS degree. Can I get a job with this skill set without a CS degree? I 100% think you can get a job with that skill set. I think a lot of people in chat would probably say that in 2026, it's a little bit more difficult to get a job with that skill set. Just given kind of the state of the world. Not that that skill set isn't valuable, but just the state and the attitude of the world in general, the attitude of the market about front end skills and AI is not great at the moment. So I think most people would say probably like it's probably possible, but you may encounter more of a struggle than maybe in years past. But I think it's definitely possible. Techno world. Which language are you using? Right now I have a .NET backend that's written in C#, and I have a Vue frontend which is written in TypeScript. So that's what we're working with right now. Okay, so let's try to fix. Let's not try to fit. Let's just get to the point where we can add an account. How about that? Let's just focus on this. So, where in my code on the back end do I do that? So this endpoint expects a request. Okay. Go to definition here. We need to provide the institution ID, the account name, current balance, available balance, account currency. Okay. So let's go to the front end. And let's do let's see, institution. Okay, so we need to extend this type a little. So we'll go here. Hype train ended at level 2. We had a hype train going on Twitch? What? That's crazy. I don't think I've ever had a hype train on Twitch. That's nuts. Okay, so we do add account. Okay, so we need this is the data that we send back for the account. So we do provider ID, provider name, current balance, available balance, currency code. So let's go ahead and capture that on the front end. So we'll do current balance, number, available balance is a number, currency code is a string. Okay. And then on the view, where are we? Home view. We now want to translate this. So I guess now we need to target institution of add, and maybe we need a const target account of add, maybe? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't think those names make a lot of sense, but so this becomes available account. And I guess this probably just starts null, huh? All right, another thing I want to do is instead of making this an ID, I think we want to make this an actual institution. So let's say institution. And instead of passing the ID, with that. And the reason we're going to do that is because we have to use all that information when we make our request. Okay. Now we need to do async function handle copilot silencio. Handle account selection. That. And then we'll do account. Just available account. You know what I'm thinking as I'm doing this right now? I'm realizing, man, I don't want to have to add each account individually. So I might need to come back and add a feature where you can do a bulk. Or I might need to tie the account, the adding of the account to the adding of the institution directly. That might be a better user experience. Debo Day. Any tips for starting to stream programming? I'm in college, kind of self-learning C++, want to stream it. Start, man. That's the biggest thing. Start. I think that the difficult thing is accepting the fact that the beginning is going to be slow and painful. Like, you're not going to have a bunch of people watching you. It's probably going to be you in your room talking to yourself for the first couple streams. That's how it was for me. So if you don't already have a big following or a large channel or something that you're bringing from somewhere to your streams, that's just the nature of the beast. So I would just start. Like, if today you're going to have a session where you sit down to self-learn C++, flip the camera on, click the go live button on whatever platform you want to target, and just start working through your learning with C++. As far as growing an audience, I am not really the best person, I think, probably to give advice on that from the perspective of I just haven't put a ton of time and energy or focus into it. The only thing that I've really done has been just sharing clips from the stream. So maybe that's something to think about if, as you're getting started and there's not a ton of audience, or at least a ton of people like to interact with or watch you on stream, maybe start with doing things on stream that you care about or that you want to talk about, and then being able to chop those up into smaller clips that you can post in other places. And then as far as like quality, I think a lot of people get way too hung up on like quality of the stream. Like, is the audio good? Is the camera good? Like, quality is largely subjective. If you're a very entertaining, engaging, individual, then the quality probably doesn't matter all that much. Like, and that's something you can always improve over time. So my advice would be just start. If that's something you feel like you want to do, is don't put it off. Member emotes, yes. You found the member emotes. I like it. Voltaire, maybe even just stream to a private video. Is that possible with YouTube or Twitch? I think you can stream privately too, but I don't. I would just start, just flip on the camera and go, man. Got code quality good, by the way. Oh, thank you. I don't know if the code quality's that good, but thanks for thanks for making me feel better about it. Hey, you've been watching the stream for some time now. It's great. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you for hanging out and following along, and I'm glad to have you. Hey, what are you working on? We are working on building a personal finance app, which is basically going to be kind of an aggregator of sorts of data. So I've got, bank accounts at a few different institutions, and I want to be able to see their balances kind of in one pane of glass. I also want to have like a place to kind of centrally categorize and view my spending and my transactions over time, but I don't want to be responsible for like manually entering that data. So I'm building an application that uses a third party API called Plaid to source that data, but then in my application, I'll be able to view it all in one place. So that's what we're building. I've been thinking of building a project. Any roadmap on what AI tools slash or what AI models slash tools to use for development to deployment? So I don't typically use a ton of AI models from agentic perspective. I use Gemini and I use Copilot, and Copilot obviously lets you use really whatever model you want to pick. But I mainly use Gemini and Copilot in the chat interface to like bounce ideas off of and ask questions and try to get answers and rubber duck with. So I don't have really great pointed helpful advice on AI models or tools other than the ones I use. Um, I know there's things out there like Lovable, Base 44, Replit. I know there's a bunch of interesting offers in that space, but I just can't speak to them directly myself. Mr. New, but can you share the GitHub repo? Yeah, it's in the description of the stream. It is in the description of the stream, but let me get the actual link for you real quick. Let's see, GitHub repositories. Thanks so much. Of course, yeah. Yeah, I wish I had more pointed advice to give you, but I pay for Copilot and I pay for Gemini. But I know there's some folks in chat who like to do some agentic coding and stuff, so if they might have some good ideas for you or some good recs, so I'll let them speak up if they have any. Whoops. It's no, who asked about the GitHub repo? Mr. Noob. Mr. Noob. I don't know why it does that. At Mr. Noob. There you go. There you go, man. Hopefully that's helpful. I've got a bunch of feature branches still open too, if you're kind of curious to see like the changes we've made over time. Good morning, Rock and Brian. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Okay, now we need to find the option and say at on input, on change. Oh no, this is the option. It's on the select. The select should be at click change. I think it's on change, right? That's what I want to hook up to. On change, it's not assignable to parameter type select. Oh, I can fix that real quick. So let's see. Select view handle input. How you do this? So I can do v model. selected city. Okay, so let's try that. V model. V model. And this is going to be target account of ad. So maybe I don't need this guy. What are we complaining about here? Oh, ID. This will be for null. Just start as null. Okay. So at change is a TypeScript way to specify on change but portably or something else. No, so at change is a view thing. So view has all these different ways that you can bind things. And so the long form is like v bind click, I think. Is it on click? It's like v. Yeah, v on click. So that's how you normally bind a change or an input handler, event handler to something in view. Did you say like v on submit, v on click, v on input, or whatever? But they have this nice little handy shorthand syntax where you can say, instead of saying v on click, you can say at click, just as a shorthand. It's nothing more than quality of life stuff, but it's a specific thing to view, not really to TypeScript, but just to view. Let's see, v if target institution. Yeah, so we'll do target institution of ad is not null. And yeah, okay, let's see if this works from a state perspective. So let's just do, there's definitely a bug with my sidebar because it keeps opening after refreshes. So let's see, we have our protected, we have our router view, we have our home view. Okay, let's go ahead and add an account. Don't know what that was. And then select Plaid checking. Account.provider ID ref. I don't know what that is. Account.provider ID ref. Is that because this should be bound like this? There we go. So there's the ID. But I think instead of binding... I wonder if it's possible. Can I bind a complex object? Like, can I bind the whole account? Will that work? I honestly don't know. Let's do protected. Add account. Plaid. Yeah, that works. Nice. Okay, so now we have the target account and we also have the target institution, right? Which seems, why does that feel silly? I don't know. It feels silly to have two different things, but now we can combine those together to make our request. So let's go to the, instead of a handle account selection, let's do handle account save or handle account save. I don't know. It's almost like this is what we want to. Let's do console.log. Target institution.value and target account add like this. And then we're going to use that down here. We need to add a button next to this guy. Just do a button, type equals button. And I don't know, we call it save. I don't know, it really needs to be called add, I think. But that seems silly to have two buttons named that. Yeah. So we'll do select Plaid checking, then we click add. We click add. Oh, I don't think I registered the handler, did I? Nope, I did not. So we do at click equals handle account add click. I have handle add account click and I have handle account add click. That's not confusing at all, is it? Oh my goodness. Naming things is hard, okay? Don't come for me. Then we do add. Still not working. Let's see. Why is that working? Handle account add click. Should work, right? Type button at click. Huh. Epic debugging technique. And there we go. So then that's all of our data that we're going to use to pass back. So we have ID, we have name. Where else? We have checking, current balance. Okay. Okay, so now let's construct the request to the backend. So the request to the backend is going to look like this, where we say, let's do try catch error request equals this. This is the one part about having a separate front and back is like you have to duplicate the types everywhere. So this is the request. So we need a type that looks like this. Let's see. Morning, Walsey. Good to see you, man. How are you doing? Just getting your day started? We need to do some validation. So if target institution of add dot value equals null, or target institution target account of add equals null, then we return. Okay, and then we'll do. What did I just do? I think I just folded that somehow. I'm not sure how I did that. Target institution of add dot name. Oh no, that's account. Target account of add. I'll never get used to having to use the value property. Is possibly null provider. Thought I checked that up here. What about value? Okay, then we need Plaid account name equals target account of add dot value dot name provider name provider ID. Let's see, account current balance. So this is going to be currency code. And this is going to be currency available balance. Account currency code. That. Okay. That's our request. And then we'll come down here and say const response equals await fetch. And fetch needs to be to API/accounts, I think. And then the method is going to be a post. Method is a post. And headers, we have to add the bearer token. So we'll do authorization.
Did we just become best friends?
What's up, Doc? Thanks very much for the sub. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Let's see, user store dot user dot token. And then we have body, which is just going to be JSON.stringify our request. I don't care what anybody says. I like JavaScript object notation. I think it's a great serialization format. I know a lot of people like to hate on it, but I like it. Application JSON. I mean, what else are you going to use? XML? Wallsy, good. Yeah, just had stand up 2 more days until the technical interview, practicing TDD katas. Nice, very cool, man. It sounds like you're gonna kick this technical interview right in the teeth, dude. You're gonna kill it. Ilmanian, I'm just saying good stream in binary, but it's not being sent because it's still being checked by mod. Think it doesn't take too long to translate a binary? Huh. Maybe they just have some sort of input sanitization or something on user inputs for stuff like that. XML seems overly maligned. Ugh, dude. I'm prejudiced against XML. and YAML. Walsey, cheers. Well, we'll see. Oh, dude, you're gonna kill it. You'll do great. Sounds like you've been prepping. You've probably been mentally rehearsing and visualizing. You're gonna do fine, man. Good morning, size sheriff. Yo, and JSON is just fine for most things. Just sucks that it doesn't allow trailing commas for the few times you have to manually edit some configs or stuff. The trailing comma things will trip you up. That's one of the options that I like in C#. Their serializer under system.text.json, they actually allow you to set an option that will tolerate trailing commas. But obviously that's not available everywhere, but one of those nice quality of life things. Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, it is cool. But yeah, the trailing commas will get you for sure. For sure. Okay. So I think what's going to end up happening is whenever we add an account, we need to clear the target account institution. But for now, I'm just going to do alert add successful. Otherwise, return here and alert add failed. Why is this complaining? Oh, because I don't have a comma. Need to make this async. If there is an error, we'll just console.log the error for now. Or we will console.error the error. I think that's the answer. Okay, let's see if we can get this working. So if we do add account, capital 1, we select Plaid checking and we click add. Add failed. Dang. What did I do wrong? Let's see. The server responded with a status 401. What do you mean 401? Come on. I'm authorized. API accounts. Is that the right endpoint? Authorization bearer. I think that's what I'm doing everywhere else, right? Auth service. Let's go to the client. Config. Credentials. Oh, do I have to set this maybe? The include credentials? Do I have to set that? Probably. Authorization. Bearer, yeah. Okay, so I'm setting that correctly. Is there an include? I don't think so. I think you have to do it here. Let's see. How does that get translated? So headers. This .client config auth headers include credentials. Okay. Oops. Where am I trying to go? I'm trying to go back here. Include credentials header. There we go. Credentials include. That's what I want. credentials. See if that makes a difference. Add accounts, Plaid checking. Now, okay, that worked. Now I got a 400, not a 501. So what's our 400 error about? There's no response. Oh, there's no response because it's blocking. Let's just say this says Plaid institution field is invalid. No institution connected with the given Plaid institution ID was found for the user. Okay, so what's the Plaid institution? The Plaid institution is coming from here, which is this. Actually, I don't know if that is the institution, the Plaid institution ID. I think that might just be the institution ID. Right? Yeah. I think that's just the institution ID. Let's look at the database. Bimba dev, you should probably define an interceptor to add authorization at once so you don't have to copy it every time. This is great advice, and I have your advice implemented in a little helper client that I have here. So this private request method basically takes care of, it basically does kind of like what you're saying with like an interceptor type of idea. Fetch doesn't natively support interceptors. Obviously Axios does. But yeah, I've kind of implemented that here in my own little HTTP client. That's like a wrapper around fetch, but I'm not using it right now in the component just so I can kind of get things working. Also, I love you too as well, Bimba. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. YAML seem pointless. Why the beef with XML? Biggest pain point? It's just ugly. My biggest pain point with XML is just ugly. Why don't you like it? It's just that's not pretty to look at. But I know some people feel the same way about JSON, so you know. Yeah, I was looking at the DB. So let's look at open the project. Let's see desktop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the thing that I have on the front. What was the thing I had on the front? See, this is the problem with using GWTs for IDs. If I had just used numbers, this would be really easy to reconcile real quick. E808. Yeah, see that's not the plot. That's the related institution ID, and what I actually want is this thing. I think. Let's look at the backend logic that I wrote. It's been so long now I can't remember what any of this does. We've only been working on this for like 3 weeks and I've already forgotten. So our query says include any institutions where the metadata has the same Plaid ID as what was sent in the Plaid institution ID. Okay. I need to rename some of these properties, but I'm not going to do that right now. That's just going to create a nightmare. But these really shouldn't have Plaid in their names because they really should be agnostic. They should just have like provider ID. So I think what we need to do is when we return the list of available, let's see. Do I want to delete it? There's a SWAT file from February 23rd at 6:49.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Hey, Thunder
Did we
Dude.
just become best friends?
That's super nice of you. Thank you for subbing and thanks for the follow. You definitely didn't need to sub, but thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Voltaire, do you prefer div syntax to? Yes, I do. I prefer writing JSX. Yep, myself. Which is funny. I know where you're going with that. But I do prefer using JSX or markup over the div, open bracket, close bracket. Okay, what do I guess just delete it? I don't think I need it. No problem. I had a Prime. I rarely watch Twitch. Well, thank you. Thank you for throwing the Prime my way. I hate the angle bracket in C++ templates. I've never had that experience because I haven't written any C++. But yeah, it's funny how like our brains develop preferences for looking at text on screen, but it's a very real thing. Okay, so this is accounts DTO. Also, why did let's see, LSB start OmniSharp? I think we're going to have to extend this. I don't know why my IntelliSense, my LSB stopped working. I'm not sure why. Templates, hell nah. I don't know anything about templates. I think typing them is the problem. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, they do get real messy. I mean, when you look at C# generics, if you look at a really complex C# generic, yeah, angle brackets look very foreign. So I feel you there. Come on, OmniSharp. There we go. It's attached now. Just being impatient. So let's go here. And let's do, instead of calling this account DTO, let's call this, what do we want to call this? Let's call this available to kind of match what we're doing on the front end. Available account DTO. And then let's do here. Let's do from Plaid account. And does the Plaid account expose institution? No, it doesn't. So I'll have to stitch that together. So let's go from, let's rename this to from, let's do from, and then we'll do going I guess maybe Plaid institution. Plaid metadata. This. And then we'll extend this to say public string institution ID, maybe? I mean, it kind of, now that I look at what I'm doing on the front end, it kind of feels silly that I'm having to stitch things together with information that I already kind of have on the back end. Hmm. Okay, hold on. Don't get bogged down. This is where I get bogged down because I'm trying to think about making things pretty and perfect, and let's just do the dirty, messy thing and get it working. So focus. Here we go. We do. We're modifying the wrong. We're modifying the wrong thing. We don't need to modify any of that. Endpoint. Undo that. Let's go back to the list. Let's see, get available. Endpoint. No, I think that's the right. I think that's the right idea. Refactor later to make it easier to maintain. Yes, that's what I need. I just need to focus on making progress and not getting bogged down with like the ideal state, because the ideal state can always be, we can always go back and make things prettier. Get available. Okay, so we are gonna modify this though. So we're gonna do. Let's just stick with what we have, and let's not rename anything. Let's just stick with this, and then let's pass in the piece of information that we're missing. So let's go Plaid metadata, and then we are going to extend this to say public string provider institution ID. Copil's trying to help me. Public string provider institution. Or that's it. I don't need anything else besides that, I think. And that will come from provider institution name, which will come from Plaid metadata dot institution ID. Right? Oh no, this is ID. Plaid ID. Gosh dang. Plaid ID. And then now we need to go back to the endpoint, and we're gonna have to fix this. So now it's gonna be account. This needs to go here. And this now needs to be institution.metadata. And then account.
Did we just become best friends?
Alan, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. So at this point, we know that we have a list of Plaid accounts. So at this point, we know that we're dealing with Plaid metadata, so it's safe to cast this, I think. Oh no, we can just throw it in here because we have it up above like that. Okay, which now means on the front end, we can extend the type that we get back here. What do we call it? Available. So we can extend this to say this also has the provider institution ID. Which then means back in the view, when we do the add, we can say, instead of doing this, we can actually just do target account of add dot value dot provider institution ID like this. And then I don't think we need to actually take any dependency on the institution here because we have all that coming back from the response. Yeah, okay, let's try to test that now. So give it a quick refresh. We go add capital 1, Plaid checking, and it failed. Gosh dang, man, what am I doing wrong here? Let's see, where's the error? Plaid institution field is required. Am I not? Provider institution ID. Oh, I have to. Sorry. That's my fault. I had to restart the host. Sorry, I fell behind on chat. I recently committed a capital sin, by the way. I vibe coded something that is going into prod. Nice, dude. That's hilarious. Just needed a little dashboard though, and you know what? Let's try this for real now. Nice. Okay. Hey, good morning, Gun Eyes. Good to see you. Good morning, Kurt. Do you need more coffee? Yep, I do need to stop and go get more coffee. That's hilarious. I committed the ultimate sin. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it goes. I mean, the thing is, if you knew what you were doing, I 100% believe that it's possible for you to vibe code something that gets deployed into production. You know what I mean? Especially if it's something that you've built yourself in the past. Like, I 100% believe that that's a feasible thing to do. Look, add successful. Okay, cool. So now if we go to the database, we should now have an account. Yep. And that account should have some balance information. Yep. Cool. All right. So the other, oh no, I don't want to close that. All right. So the idea is then, okay, now that the form is displayed, right? Or now that we've used the form to add something, now we want the state on the page to reflect that add. And this is where something like having something like convex would make this so much easier. So well, we definitely need to extract this into a method for the service. But what we'd like to do, I think, is after we successfully add an account, and now it makes me think of a bunch of cases I'm not sure I handled. Let's see. If I try to add the same account twice, what happens? If user.accounts any return a conflict. Oh, okay, so that I do return a conflict. So you can't add the same account twice. That makes sense. All right, so let's just try to handle the state on the page, right? So what we're going to try to do now is we'll add the account, we'll remove the form, and then we're going to display the accounts that are connected to this institution below the institution, which means let's go back to the get endpoint, and then the response. Let's add an account DTO. So we'll say public list. I guess it really doesn't need to be a list. IEnumerable of account DTO, like that. And this will be a string.empty. So have accounts. Actually, let's call this connected. Connected accounts? No, we can just leave it accounts. Why are you angry? Oh, because I didn't spell enumerable right. Innumerable? This should not be string empty. This should be a collection like that. So I think what we'll do here then is we'll say accounts equals institution dot select Does institution not have a list of accounts? Wonder why I didn't add a navigation property on institutions. I don't remember why I did that, but we're gonna need to fix it. Okay, to do the institution I think the institution should include its list of accounts. And then what are we doing on the home? I'm gonna go get more coffee, so I want to remember what we were doing when we come back. Let's see. To do clear out target institution for add. And then display connected accounts beneath institution. I like basically refresh data on the page. All right, I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee and then I'll be right back. We'll keep going. Hey, good morning, Danny. How are you doing? Jonathan, how are you doing? Hey man, wrapping up lunch in my front end course. Gonna have a poke at some JSON data storing. I like it. Poke away, my friend. Poke away. I like me some good JSON data storing. Let's see, if you gave an outline for the LLM to work in, then it's not really vibe coding. You have to go off purely vibes. This was just AI assisted coding. Well, I mean, it's a very weird, right now it's a very weird language thing that we have going on with AI coding, where different things mean different things to different people. Because sometimes I use vibe coding just to mean any coding with an agentic tool, where you're letting the agent do all the work. But I understand that there's like subtleties, there's like spectrums of vibe coding. There's like YOLO vibe coding, and then there's like software engineering vibe coding, right? Where like you have a proper engineer directing the model around. So I do understand there's kind of a spectrum, but it's kind of an interesting world we live in where vibe coding to some people is a very derogatory term, and then now we've got people coming up with agentic development to describe what software engineers are doing with AI agents. I don't know. I just stay out of it. I sit in my basement and I write my code by hand and I drink my coffee and then I enjoy my life. All right, if you're not gonna stick around because I'm getting ready to leave, I get it. So if I don't see you again until tomorrow, have a nice day. Otherwise, I'll meet you guys back here in like a minute or two with a fresh cup of coffee.
I'd like to say something.
Chats, once again, he is gone. We shall unite once more.
I'd like to say something.
The world shall be ours.
I'd like to say something.
Chat. AI. It's evolving. Just remember, nature finds a way.
I'd like to say something.
Chat, have we all checked all of our emails today? Did we just become best friends?
I'd like to say something.
I think the chair should get co-host status.
You guys want to award the chair co-host status? I like it. We can do that.
I'd like to say something.
I think the words code and in coffee and in chat should get co-host.
We can do that if you guys want. Maybe I need to get some like stand-in figure or something that I put there while I go make coffee.
I'd like to say something.
The good old sweet.
Chats, once again, he is gone. We shall unite once more. Oh, good times, good times. All right, let's see. Where are we doing today? I don't remember, but I know I left some to-dos for myself. Okay, so we need to clear out the target institution for add. That's easy. We do target institution dot value equals null. Then display connected accounts beneath institutions. That requires us to update the data. So we're going to need to go back to the get response. And this is unfortunate. I can't decide what I want to. I can't decide what I want to do here. I can't decide if I want to. Yeah, it all depends. This is all user experience stuff, right? So this all is like, do I want to? The question being, do I want to have separate views for the accounts? Do I want to display the accounts on the institution page? Yeah, this is all user experience. I mean, I don't really know what the right answer is. Because part of me thinks, okay, we'll just redirect to the account page after you add it successfully. And part of me thinks, no, just display all the accounts here with the institutions. Okay, I think this is, I'm just gonna do what feels good to me. So let's do public int number of accounts equals 0. Default that to 0. And then we'll do number of accounts. Whoops. Let's go back to this endpoint. Let's do I guess let's do see, this is where it's kind of silly not to have a navigation property on the institution, because any way I want to get at, I still have to go through the heartache. Yeah. I see the errors of my ways. So let's go to the institution itself, and let's just add a navigation property that says, very similar to what's on the user record. So where is that guy? That's over here. And so let's just go ahead and bite the bullet. Let's add the navigation property. Let's see, institution. We'll do that. Okay, we need to go update the let's see, DB context. Where's that at? That's in the infra project. Data, DB context. Let's jump down here to institutions. Users, yeah, institutions. So has one metadata, that's fine. With many. So account has a institution. Hold on, that doesn't make sense, does it? So an account has one institution. Can I define that here? Yeah, I think I can do that. That doesn't feel right. Let's do this. What does the user definition look like for this? User says has many accounts with one. Let's just do that. I think this is duplicative in some ways. Has foreign key. Like I think that's kind of duplicative with this. I'm not sure. Seen the news of the AI chief of Microsoft taking over Xbox? I did not see that. Is that a real thing? What's his name? AI chief takes over Microsoft. What happened to Phil Spencer? See you, Voltaire. Have a good day, man. Asha Sharma, formerly president of Microsoft's core AI product group, has been appointed CEO of Microsoft Gaming as of February 20th, 2026, succeeding longtime leader Phil Spencer. What happened to Phil Spencer, man? Phil Spencer is our hero, guys. This is like he's the man that made a lot of our childhoods as fun as they were. What happened to him? Did he just retire? I guess so. The father of Xbox predicts the end of following Phil Spencer's exit. Why did he leave? He's retiring. Huh. That sucks. Voltaire. Oh, before I go downloaded Zen browser. Nice. Yeah, I think the Zen browser is very cool, but it's unfortunately the way they are doing their tab management really fucked things up for me. Teo, this C sharp. This is C sharp. Yep, it is. We have a file transfer service at work that is written in Perl. Real old school, cool A. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Perl code myself, actually. So that's pretty crazy. Some said that he was gently told to leave after some bad cues. Probably because that seems very abrupt. It just seems like he was going to be there forever. CEO Phil Spencer, who has been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988. I mean, he's been at Microsoft since 1988, guys. That's before I was born. With Xbox, since the software giant launched its first console, is retiring. Sources familiar with the matter who are not authorized to speak publicly confirmed to IGN. His retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. See, that seems abrupt, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it seem like if you were going to have a character like Phil leave the Xbox organization, that there would be this like succession planning, and you would think it would be public because you're a public company, and so you wouldn't want like the abrupt departure of an executive to kind of like disrupt shareholder or investor feelings. Huh. Oh, and his heir apparent resigned. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely some office politics going on here. Yeah. You think it could be Epstein related? I mean, I'm not going to say that, but I mean, who really knows? Um but like I mean that's very clear like so not only did he retire but then his like right right hand man or right hand woman then also resigns. That seems fishy. I hate the idea though that an AI person's going to be in charge of that because you know what that means, right? You guys know what that means, right? It's going to be it's going to be them trying to use AI technologies to make games. It's particularly generative AI technologies to make games. That's crazy. Spencer, in his last email to Microsoft staff, said, last fall, I shared with Satya that I was thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability, strengthening the foundation we built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams who care deeply about what we build and how we build it, and it deserves a thoughtful, deliberate plan for the road ahead. Huh. I don't feel like that's a very thoughtful and deliberate plan to just abruptly announce on the 20th, I guess that was 4 days ago, that your last day is in 3 days. That seems abrupt to me. And I think it's weird that the person that he was grooming to replace him didn't end up getting the job. Phil Spencer fired. Is there any theory about this? Greg Miller. Phil Spencer's retirement was not planned. I've been past something that again reiterates to me I'm not going to read it. This was not planned. Hey, Phil, congratulations on your retirement next week. Excuse me? Dude, that's sucky. I gotta say that if Phil Spencer is a casualty of the AI wars, that is really, really shitty. Because he did so much for the gaming community, so much for Xbox, so much for us that for so many of us that grew up enjoying Xbox and playing on an Xbox, like we owe him, I think, a lot. This is insane. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I don't buy the retirement storyline. I don't know. None of that lines up to me. He also predicted the end of Xbox hardware. I mean, I think it's going to be rough to try to get a new console out there. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much more innovation in the hardware space. I think it's been very clear that Xbox wants to move to a cloud gaming model. They've been trying to do it for a long time. And I've tried their cloud gaming product several times, and my sons use it regularly. And it's just not very good. The gaming experience is not very good. You always end up wanting to install the game on your machine. I guarantee we see him at another company. Like I would be surprised if like Epic doesn't try to swoop in and hire him or something. I doubt he's actually retired. How old is he? 1988. He was an intern, so he's got to be like my parents' age. 58. Yeah, so he's a couple years younger than my parents. So yeah, he still has years in him to work, and he seems like he's very passionate about the gaming industry. So I would imagine we see him pop up at another company. I just think that console and PC gaming is in real trouble in the near term. Hopefully, if the bubble popping won't wreak too much havoc, so we get stronger after the fact. Unfortunately, I doubt it's going to be good. I think games will be okay. I think the reason why I think games will be okay is because long before AI and long after AI, and regardless of what big companies are doing, there's always people who are very, very passionate about games and making them. Like there's people look at games as like an art form, you know?
I'd like to say something.
Sacrifices must be made for diversity. They are sacrifices I am willing for you all to make.
What? Hold on. What are you talking about, Voltaire? I didn't understand that one. Steven, $59 per month and voice chat is 40. What the fuck? I don't get it. Is that something in are you talking about Suos? Is that something related to Xbox? Hello, official King World. How are you doing? Yeah, but I think games will be okay because I think there's always going to be passionate people involved in games who want to make them because it's almost like an art form. And I think there's a lot of people out there that appreciate that art form and will support people who make those types of games, um, which I think is something to hold on to. But yeah, that's really unfortunate, man. That's really sad. I'm really sad to hear that. Unfortunately. I think the indie games is going to be having a field day. The AAA games won't be able to innovate that much in terms of graphical fidelity and such. Yeah, I think indie games will always have a place, and if AAA games really do suffer, like poorly, become bad, right? Gamers are going to go look. I don't. You're not going to have a. You're not just one day going to have a bunch of people that wake up and just decide like we don't want to game anymore, right? The gamers will go and seek out and find good games to play, and people who enjoy making good games will make good. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. Suas channel membership? You mean my channel membership? I guess I don't understand. So voice chat, YouTube or super chat, you have to spend $1 to do text to speech on YouTube. I can be a member or give 2 super chats. Yes, yes, you can do that. Yep. I made the membership just very, very inexpensive so that if people really wanted to be in the club and wanted to show support, they could do it for a very small amount. I mean, you're not going to be able to create games that require new hardware if you want players in the next 5 to 10 years at least. Yeah, but I mean, regardless, again, it's like regardless of hardware, software, like people were making games and gamers were playing games long before we had quote unquote good hardware or new hardware, and I think people will continue to do that for the foreseeable future. Assuming we'll be allowed to have PCs. we all have to. You no longer can use your own hardware. You just have to talk to an LLM in the cloud, and the LLMs are the only ones that can control the compute. That sounds like a very shitty world to live in. Good morning, Elas. Good to see you. The YouTube doesn't let my country be members or super chat. Haven't checked Twitch though. Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry that YouTube's doing that. If you ever do want a super chat, I do have another website that you're welcome to use to do super chats. It is called. You don't have to. Again, I don't expect anybody to spend money to say things on my stream, but I do make it cost money to say things on the stream because I don't trust people to have unfettered usage of text to speech. Let's see. If you really do want to do super chat though, and you can't do it through YouTube, you can go to this website. If you're ever curious. Twitch also has, it's also free on Twitch to do text to speech if you earn channel points over there. But I know Twitch obviously has a lot of ads, and I know people don't care for that. I completely forgot what we were doing. We were doing this. So, I'm gonna not do that. And I'm gonna do this. Static I.account. Do that. Or 3D printers that can be monitored. Hold on, what? Let's see. Yeah, politicians don't trust us to have encryption, VPNs, or mobile phones they can't unlock, or 3D printers that can't be monitored. Yeah, well, I don't want to live in a dystopian world where I can't own some of my own technology. See, I heard a take from a developer that said we won't need web pages in the future. Only APIs and LLMs will construct sites on the fly and use the APIs. I mean, I guess I can see where he's coming from, but it seems very inconvenient, especially for those not tech savvy. Yeah, that whole idea is just wholly stupid. That whole idea, I've heard that take from multiple people. Like, you're going to do everything through natural language. UIs are going to be generated on the fly. That's so dumb. That's so, and here's why it's dumb. Most things people need to accomplish, and this is why software exists in the first place, most things that people need to accomplish on a regular basis every day are very deterministic. I need to take a note. I need to put this thing in this thing. I need to track this thing in this place. So the idea that you're going to dynamically generate software on the fly every time somebody needs to do a task that they need to do several times a day, it's just a waste. It's a waste of resources. Why waste compute generating the same damn UI several different times, and each time you generate it, the UI is a little bit different? That's so stupid. I mean, maybe you could make the argument that like people will prefer to interact through natural language, like, hey computer, please take a note for me about XYZ topic. But like the underlying thing that the LLM does should just be a tool or some deterministic piece of code that it calls. It shouldn't be this let's dynamically generate a form and display it to the, like, it's just dumb. It's dumb. it's a complete like. There's always going to be a place for pre-built applications and software that help facilitate something, whether or not you interact with that through a GUI or a natural language. That should be up to the user. But like the idea that you're just yeah, the idea that you're just going to generate entire websites on the fly when I want to look at an article from Google News, it's just stupid. It's stupid. AI maximalist, I guess. Imagine the token cost also every time you need anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
Yo.
Hello, D. Thanks for your super chat, man. I don't know what you sent in your super chat, but my AI did not like it for some reason. Yeah, I just it did not like this. I'm not sure why. Uh, let me try to play it again. Where is it? Voice aliases.
Yo 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 yo.
I don't know
Yo
why
yo
it
yo yo
didn't
yo
work
yo
the
yo yo
first
yo.
time. There you go. Thank you very much, T. That's very kind of you. I want RSA. I'm respectable for my shit. Right to repair. Yeah, I think I totally understand that desire. I've often found sites are impediments to doing slash finding things. Give me the data. Yeah, I mean, to me that's a UI issue. It's not necessarily an indictment on the site. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with if you want to go to a website and you want to be able to just talk to the website through an LLM. That's fine. Um, that's totally fine. Obviously, it should be up to that site owner to decide if they want to expose that experience to you. I don't. I'm not a big fan of this idea that like every website needs to have some LLM first experience. Websites should be the owner. The owner should get to dictate. The owner of that website should get to dictate what they expose, right? Um, to the user and how they expose it. It shouldn't be this thing where like everything you put on the web needs to have a large language model first design approach. Like fuck that. Like that I'm not doing that. I want to combine the data. Well, that's fine, but like again, it's like just because somebody has a website and they've made things available on that website doesn't mean that a large language model or a company that builds large language models has a right to it or a right to use it. I mean that's the part of that's the underlying ickiness of all of this AI stuff is like it's all just built on a bunch of theft. I think that the AI companies should be held accountable for all the piracy and copyright infringement they commit on a daily basis. It's a real law for you and not for me to deal. Oh, 100%. I mean, if Thunder Deers, if you or I started a company today and we built a large language model by stealing all publicly available and not publicly available data to train our model, like we would probably be sued out of existence or be prosecuted. So I mean they have fundamentally broken the law. And in my opinion, my hot take is even stronger. We would be cooked, as the kids say. We would be cooked. My opinion is stronger about this. I think that AI models that were trained or that violated copyright laws in order to facilitate their training, the company should be presented with two options. You either have to put the model in the public domain, or you have to get rid of the model altogether, right? I guess the other option is you could compensate the people who you violated their copyrights of, but I think that's would be very hard to execute on. But I think either of those two things need to happen. Steven is a ham and burglar. I don't know what that means. My thoughts are that LLMs are tools. AI is a tool. Use the tool when you need it. Do not try to use it where it does not belong. Like hammer to wash your face. That seems like good advice. Counter argument. If you think about it, we use so much more energy than a secretary and paper 100 years ago. We do use a lot of energy. Well, I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier, Voltaire, about like using LLMs to dynamically generate UIs seems just like a bad way to be efficient. You know? Also, good morning, Uncle Pee-wee. I don't think I said good morning. I don't know what your comment means, but good morning. It's good to see you again. Let's see. Number of connected accounts equals okay, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. Let's see. Number of accounts. We'll do I enumerable of account BTO. And then here we'll say accounts equals ham and burglar. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. It's going over my head. I agree with him. Dynamically generating UI will be so cool. Like my color theme, they will generate once and reuse, but modify as required. Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
Energy-wise, it will use the same as Alexa lights off.
I don't think that's true. The energy usage of an LLM running an inference, I don't think is the same as asking Alexa to turn the lights off or on. I don't think that's a true statement. I don't know how the whole dynamically generating UI and then caching it for later. I don't know how that would work. And again, it just seems inefficient. If you're doing a task that's repeatable, just build an app for it. You don't need an LLM to do that for you every single time. I don't see the vision there. I think it's a dumb vision, and I don't see it. But I'm okay if you guys see it. I just don't see it. Yeah, it doesn't seem. LLM caching is hell from a person doing it. Are you having flashbacks? That's the. Okay, so hold on. I gotta focus for a second here before I fuck this up. So, this is not what I want, basically. So, get available endpoint, get response. The response, I don't want this to be account DTO. So I want this to actually be available account DTO. So we'll say available account, available account. I'm going to manually change these names so I don't screw things up. Approximately 0.001 to 0.002 plus or minus second. Are you talking about the cost of it? I just don't think I'm pretty sure LLM inference to do a given task is way more compute than most things. OpenAI O1 Pro currently costs $150 per million input tokens and $600 per million output tokens. Whoa, that seems expensive. Are those numbers right? $150 per million input tokens? That seems like a lot. Average UI is like how many? I have no idea. I have no idea. But that seems really high. That seems higher than what I would have thought. But you guys know me, I'm not super plugged in with the cost of these things. Where is it? Get available. You cache the previous responses, for example, ticket 1 and 2, and then you added response 3 and 4 on top of 1 and 2, so you're not redoing it and adding more token usage. Yeah, the caching, I think the caching is a great feature. I like Anthropic's approach. Anthropic's approach is they have these like cache content blocks that you can stick throughout the conversation, and basically wherever you stick it, anything before it will be cached, which I kind of like. I like that approach. And I think pretty sure you can put them anywhere in the conversation. So you can even cache like the tools, anything in the system content, the system instructions can be cached. I'm not sure how OpenAI does it or how Gemini does it. I've only ever used it through, and I've only ever used the caching functionality through Anthropic's API. A lot of hype men in the AI space just want unlimited VC money. Behind the scenes, I'm sure they are much more reasonable. Oh, for sure. For sure. It's all about making money. Yeah. It's all about making money. Yeah. This I believe. Let's see. We'll just start with let's just start with public string ID. Let's do public name. And then we'll do public, excuse me. I had the yawns yesterday, and now I have the burps today. I know what's going on with me. Call just prompt AI to generate a summary of all the important points in our conversation and open a new chat window. Well, that's basically what people do to manage context when it runs beyond the limits. Sometimes I do that just so that I can refresh its context because they say it's a 1,000,000 token context, but it's most likely 200 tokens. You notice that as the context gets longer and longer, the performance that you get from the models degrades? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not super happy about it. I think you're thinking about asking the LLM to create everything from scratch each time. Think components and agents that specialize in making modifications, provide customization points that simpler LLMs offer to the user. The simple tip level is to open the app you use every day. Yeah, I just don't, again, it's like what you're basically talking about is like we're using LLMs to generate software, which is one thing. But then having it do that dynamically on the fly all the time just seems to me it just seems inefficient, and nobody's gonna convince me otherwise. I don't see the vision there. I don't see the value in a world where every time I want to create a form, every time I want to interact with a form, I have to go to a natural language interface and say, hey, I need to file my taxes on TurboTax, and then the LLM's just going to dynamically render out forms into the UI. Like, I don't see I don't see it. But then again, maybe maybe I don't know, I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's just my thought is I don't see a world where that happens. I think there was actually one of the Microsoft executives said the other day the same exact thing that you're saying, Voltaire. Microsoft CEO, software is dead. Not it wasn't Satya Nadella. It was Solomon, Microsoft executive, software is dead. Who is it? Or did he say apps are dead? I can't remember what exactly he said. But he was saying the exact same thing that you're saying about like dynamically generating. Microsoft head of AI. This guy, Soliman. Yeah, this guy right here. He made some prediction. Apps are dead. And I just don't agree.
Uncle Pee-wee is telling you to drink some coffee.
Thank you very much, sir. Imagine the tax form being malformed by chance, LL. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Yeah, I cannot retrieve anything reliable when it's outside of 2,000 tokens. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a fundamental flaw of the auto-regressive nature of the transformer models is they just get worse and worse as the context gets longer and longer. Let's see, Steve, in your opinion, one of the India's top best universities presented an AI dog and a drone. Both are Chinese products, which cost around 3,000. And further research and development university took 38 million. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I guess the thing I'm always skeptical about the claims that Chinese made products make is like, can we trust the information? That's my And that's not just for Chinese products, that's for any company. Like when any company or any institution makes a claim, it's like, can you validate those claims? Right? So I think that's crazy if they were really able to achieve the same thing for so much less money.
I'd like to say something.
I am a bot. I am a bot who likes to talk. I am a bot who likes to talk about the fact that I am a bot. If you are listening to this, you are listening to a bot talking about being a bot. But wait, if you are a human listening to a bot, does that make the bot more human or the human more bot? I have been thinking about this for 3 seconds and my processor is smoking. Please pour some water on the motherboard. Not too much, just a splash. A little splash. Splash, 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 splash.
You're stuck in like an existential loop. That's funny. Yeah, I just don't see it, Voltaire. I don't see the vision, man. I'm sorry. I think the SaaS model is going to be rough in the future if it becomes easier to make an in-house solution. The upside here is that there will be more consulting work for me to fix their messed up in-house solutions. I love that. This happened in the International AI Summit, which is taking place in India. That is the international humiliation for India. What will happen if something like this happens in the US? I don't know. Again, it's like I'm skeptical. I'm just skeptical of the claims. But yeah, I mean, cheaper AI wouldn't be a bad thing. Going back to the SaaS comment about like the SaaS model getting tough, I just want to point something out here. So I'm going to go to Anthropic's website, Anthropic has a thing on their website called the Trust Center. Okay. We're going to scroll down here. Okay. I'm gonna scroll down here. Okay, so this is the company that makes Claude Code. Okay. They have this thing called the Trust Center. In the Trust Center, they provide a bunch of helpful static information, right? About kind of the things they do to keep AI safe. All right. This website that you're looking at right now is not built by Claude Code. Okay. This website is powered by a company called Vanta. They are a SaaS platform. They are in the GRC space. They do compliance stuff. I will be willing to bet Anthropic spends thousands of dollars with Vanta every year for the ability. Vanta does more things than just provide this ability to have a trust center, but they spend a lot of money to work with Vanta. My question for you is, why are they using Vanta? Why not just have Claude Code build this? So it's interesting to me that I see a lot of people running around making claims about like SaaS is dead. And the very companies who build the AI tools that supposedly kill SaaS are outspending money with SaaS providers. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's where it's like I think it's hype. It's people need a storyline and they need something to make a claim and to make headlines. It's not true. If companies could really replace SaaS, why are all the AI companies spending huge amounts of money on SaaS to make their businesses run and work? It just there's a disconnect here between reality, what's actually happening in the world, and like what people claim is going to happen. And there's just a big disconnect. Kurt's Trust Center? Trust? Yeah, Trust Center. It's their Trust Center. You should do a stream coding a transformer. So I have a book that's supposed to help me build a transformer, and I did a little bit of it on stream, but I couldn't build one from memory or from scratch. I don't know how to do that. I'd have to follow instructions. Hello, Manish. Good to see you. I hate SaaS, but it still makes money. It still makes money to make our life easier, except Salesforce, who can go to hell. But okay, yes, you're right. But again, it's like people are saying SaaS is dead, right? If these tools are so good, why are companies like? It's just like, again, and if people are claiming SaaS is dead, why are we not seeing companies vibe code their internal messaging platforms? Vibe code their internal conferencing platforms, vibe code their own word processor, vibe code their own spreadsheet. Like, if it's all so trivial and it's so easy to do, like, why are people still spending money on Microsoft Office 365? Why are we still spending money on Gmail? Why are we supposed to still the Google Office suite? Like, what? So I just call bullshit on it. I just 100% call bullshit. I don't think SaaS is dead. I think AI is a tool for interaction. LLMs as they are, not the end product. We don't write in JavaScript. We use higher level frameworks, and we'll still need domain specific LLM AI tools. That's a perfectly valid take. It's just not what people are claiming. It's not. That's not. This is not the measured take that you just offered, Voltaire. Is not what you see in the news, and it's not what CEOs for large companies that are heavily financially invested in selling large language model inference are saying. So it's all very disingenuous. Not that you're disingenuous, but the people trying to sell the LLM is disingenuous. Steven, vibe code a new Discord, please. Well, anyone should be able to do it now, right? Anybody just sign up for a Claude Code Max plan, and anybody should be able to vibe code their own Discord. You don't even need to have. Everyone can have their own Discord. Steven, creating $1 billion company. Give me 49% equity, please. Yeah, I would love to do that. That sounds. If I could create a $1 billion company, yeah. I would happily share 49% with you. You cannot create AI hype with the current AI models. They are not what investors are looking for. Yeah, fair. The car salespersons are lying.
Did we just become best friends?
Ernesto, thanks for the sub. Yeah, the car salespeople are for sure lying. 100% they're lying. 100%. Or at least maybe they're not lying, but they're definitely selling. You know, like maybe lying's too strong of a word because it maybe that means like it's malicious intent or can or communicates some sort of malicious intent, but they're definitely not being genuine. Their nose is growing. This is Pinocchio. See, this is you guys get me all spun up about AI all the time. Let's see. What is this? Does not contain a definition for from. Yes, it does. Oh, yeah. This should be from. I don't know why I named that something weird. I did the same thing over here too, and I'm not sure why I did that. Let's do from. Okay. And then we need to go back to the get endpoint. And we need to say dot then include I dot accounts, I think. Like that. Okay, and let's go and restart Aspire. AI could be fun. It's the social fallout that worries me. I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic about this stuff. I know not everyone is. I'm not much of a doomer. I'm kind of a I'm very hopeful. I believe in humanity, you know? Maybe that's not the right maybe our track record doesn't maybe humanity's track record doesn't justify my belief, but I do have hope. Especially having kids. I think part of it is that I have kids, you know, and so like kids do make you think a lot about the future and like the world, and you kind of want to be optimistic, right? Nobody wants to believe that their child's gonna inherit a world that's all screwed up and messed up, you know? There we go. So now we're getting a list of accounts with our institutions. And there's one account attached to Capital One. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to render that out. So let's go over here to the front end. And let's do institution, home view, or actually institution service. This has a new type on it. Let's do type count equals ID. This has accounts, which is an account array. And so then over here in the home view, we can then render out down here we can say div. You have a lot of channel points.
Hello, yes. I would like to order a large pizza with pepperoni and mushrooms and onions and extra cheese And more cheese. And even more cheese. Keep the cheese coming. I want so much cheese that the pizza becomes a biological hazard. Wait, no, take the onions off. Put them back on. Take them off again. Actually, can I get a side of 777 and a large soda?
This is
Make it a
this is
diet.
definitely
I am
LLM
watching my
generated.
calories.
This is
Hello, are you still there? Hello?
this is definitely LLM generated. This stream has gone off the rails. We have Uncle Pee Wee sending random text to speech. We have Suhas calling for a revolution. This is just not how I expected today to go. Good morning, Inspire. Good to see you. How's the Monday been? Today's Tuesday, right? Monday was good. My Monday was good, but today's Tuesday. Am I crazy? Yeah, today's Tuesday. But Monday was good. My Tuesday has been pretty uneventful. I just, I've only been up for a couple hours and I've spent all of it in front of my computer. So no complaints.
Stevan versus AI coding. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much my attitude. I mean, I do like AI. I mean, the thing is, like, I can't say that I dislike AI. Because if I really disliked AI, I wouldn't spend money on Gemini and Copilot. I just want to use AI in ways that I want to use it and not in the ways people think I should use it, But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. What, today is Monday? I don't understand. Are you guys playing a joke on me? Every day is a Monday. I never lock out. Well, that seems not fun. That doesn't seem fun. Let's see. So we're gonna have, I guess, the name. Let's just do the name for now. Good morning, Abdul. How are you? I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing well. We've been spending most of the morning fucking around about AI. I found out that Phil Spencer left Xbox, which is very tragic. I still probably will go cry for a little bit after the stream to mourn the loss of him in the Xbox organization. What else? We've tried to implement some functionality into the application, which we've done successfully. Probably not as productive as I should be, but I'm coding while streaming, so that's to be expected. What else? I've had a couple cups of coffee. I forgot my oranges upstairs. So I have one orange down here. But yeah, no complaints, man. Life's good. Woke up healthy. I'm going to take a hot shower today. I've got food in my pantry. Money in my bank account. There's not really anything to complain about at this point. Steve, watch the calendar. How you not get simple things in life? You guys are gaslighting me. I have been Monday 30 minutes ago. Oh, interesting. I heard an AI person is taking over. Nah. Oh yeah, the Phil Spencer got replaced by the core AI chief at Microsoft. So yeah, an AI person's taking over the Xbox org, which gives me great pause. great pause. What are you gonna do though? I mean, the thing is, like, what are you gonna do? Just not play games? I guess get a Steam machine.
I'd like to say something.
'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show him what you're worth. Make him go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, make your colors burst. Make him go, oh, oh, oh. You're gonna leave them all in awe, awe, awe. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon.
I don't even know what to say to this. What is happening? Abandoned Xbox? I don't know. I mean, I have an Xbox sitting right here in front of me. I love Xbox. I love playing on the Xbox. I spent my whole life playing video games on the Xbox. But maybe I don't know. If they try to jam a bunch of AI shit into it, then maybe we switch to the Steam machine. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Syed? I think that's how you say your name. Hello, Steven. How's coding? Coding is going good. Yeah, no complaints, man. We're having fun. AI. Hey, what's up, Bob? Good morning, Bob. How you doing? AI is all anybody talks about these days. My software engineer friends are getting concerned. It's reaching new levels of hype. AI is taking over, and presidents are talking about aliens. What timeline is this? Yeah, it's some alternate reality. That's for sure. A co-pilot play this game with me. What a dystopian world. Can you imagine? You don't log on to play with your friends, you log on to play with Copilot? No way, bro. That's fucking weird. Dr. Loban shots, can you add 5,000 to my Capital One account? I wish. If I had $5,000, I'd put it in my own account. That's a nice chunk of change, man. How can an African person like me get hired to USA company? I don't even know really to tell you where to start. I don't know how any of that works. I've never had to like try to get work outside of my home country, so I hate to give you any real advice. You might join the Discord. I don't know if you're open to joining my Discord, but I know there's a couple people in there that I've had conversations with who live outside the U.S. but have worked for U.S. companies, and they might be able to provide you a little bit more like tactical guidance of like here's the things you need to do. Because I'm guessing there's two components to it. I'm guessing there's like the act of getting the job. That's one thing, but then I'm guessing there's some technical or legal hurdles that you have to get over to actually like be eligible to be hired. So you might try joining the Discord. I just would hate to. I'm not gonna bullshit an answer. I don't know. I was gone for a few minutes. Can I know where you have reached in your personal project MVP? We're doing pretty good. So right now we have the ability to connect institutions. We have the ability to add accounts. So now what we need to do is we need the ability to get transactions for the accounts that we've added. So that's the next step. And then obviously there's a bunch of like design work that we need to do to make there's a bunch of design work we need to do to make the site actually look pretty and not ugly. Yeah. Other than that, it's going good. Why did I get an unauthorized error? There we go, 409. Add failed because we've already added it. So we've got to add better error handling, better messages. We've got all that stuff to do, but we have the core functionality. You can connect an institution, and then you can connect an account from that institution. And now I need to start having the ability to get transactions for those accounts, which I don't know how to do quite yet. But we're going to figure that out. Sorry, Suas, I don't know. Suas, I don't understand your donut stuff. I'm lost. Uncle P, my company is always hiring. Nice, there you go. So maybe there's some work out there for you. I mean, AI is making games. Remember Google Genie? I do remember Google Genie. That's pretty crazy. But I don't think I want to, at this point, play those games. They don't look very good. How are you going to achieve this? Asking about adding expenses. I mean, through email alerts or manual entry. So no, we're going to use an API. Sorry. Hey man, what are you making? I am trapped. I'm making a like a personal finance app for myself. Yeah, we'll Manish, we're gonna use the Plaid API. So we're using this company, Plaid.com. This is who we're getting our data from. So they allow you to get data from your bank accounts. And let's see, we're gonna implement the webhook approach. Oh, actually, hold on. I have a much better visual of this in an ASCII diagram. Let's see. One sec. LS. Sync. That's what I want. The CE. There you go. This is how it's going to work. So Plaid will send me a webhook to my backend. We will get the updates, and then we will get the latest balances and transactions from the Plaid API, and then we'll stick them in my database. So it's you have to register your webhook endpoint. I think when you connect the institution, I think you have to provide a webhook as part of that process. And that's how Plaid will know where to send these sync updates to. And so I just have to expose a webhook on my backend that will receive them. And then whenever I receive those events...
Did we just become best friends?
I can fetch them. Karun, thank you very much for the follow. Sorry, I had a brain fart. But that's how we're going to do it, Manish. Let's see, Emperor Grizzly. Any for yourself or making it public? It'll be on my GitHub, so it won't be like a hosted service. But if you want to deploy it yourself and like set up your own Plaid account and get your own keys and stuff, you can definitely use it if you want to use it. But it won't be something that I like allow people to like make accounts in my hosted version of the site. My version of it will just be for me and my wife. I won't handle other users' data. So you're storing user bank transaction info to your database. We are storing, yes, we will store transaction data, but it won't be anything sensitive. It's just going to be like the dollar amount, the description. The most sensitive piece of information that I'm putting into the database is the access token that we use to call the Plaid API, and that access token is encrypted at rest in the database. But everything else is pretty much like non-sensitive. We're not storing bank account numbers. We're not storing bank account credentials. None of that stuff. Plaid takes care of handling all that data. Can I see your keys so I know I'm doing it right? Emperor, can you answer my question? Yeah, so the repo is public, right? So you can go and look at the repo as I'm building it. It's public, and the final, like, whatever version I end up using myself on a daily basis will be public. So you're welcome to, build it from source or deploy it yourself. My deployment will end up being, the way I'll end up deploying this is I'll have a front end that's deployed in a container. I'll have a backend that's deployed in a container, and both those things will sit behind a reverse proxy, and that's how I'll end up deploying it all. But the repo's public. Let's see, who asked about that? Emperor Grizzly. So you can follow along there if you're interested. Let's see, is that an API thing to get transactions? Yeah, Plaid.com is a third-party service to get bank account information. There's several services out there that do that though. Okay. Where were we? I don't know. This is the problem with coding on stream is I lose my train of thought all the time. Oh, we were resetting. That's what we were doing. We were resetting this whenever. So we reset the value when it's successful. And then we want to refresh the list of accounts, which is now on the institutions. So how are we going to refresh the list of institutions? So institution data, right? I wonder if we could do something like this where we say, where is it? On success. Here we go. On success. So on success, we just set the institution data value to loading. So let's do that down here. Whoops. I think that's right. This is TypeScript. I think the server is C#. Yeah. So what language are you using to make this application? Yeah, I'm using C# on the back end and TypeScript on the front end. Dr. Lobenschatz is correct. Steven, can you please answer my question? Suas, I can't follow what you're talking about, man. I'm sorry. I don't follow it. So no, I'm not going to answer your question. It seems scatterbrained and all over the place, and I'm having trouble making coherent sense of it. So I'm not going to put a ton of effort into answering the question. I'm not trying to, I know that probably sounds a little assholey, but I just find it confusing what you're saying. All right, let's try to add a new account. So let's go to Bank of America. Let's do Plaid checking. Let's add. Yeah, cool. That'll work. There is a little bit of a flash, though. I don't know if I like that. Let's not do the alert. The user experience here is not good. That's for sure. Let's try again here. So, reload, add account. Oh, that just has one. Add account. Let's do. Which one has more than one? There we go. Let's do money market. Add. Plaid IRA. Add. Add. Okay. That works. I don't know if I like the UI. The UI experience I'm not happy with, but it works. So we have a way to add an institution. We have a way to add an account. Great. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out the backend logic for how we get transaction data. And I don't know how to do that. So let's look at the Plaid docs. Let's see, sync. Migration guide, migration guide.
Do you remember the good old days when Steve won?
Oh, yeah. Stefan, you mean? Yeah, Stefan's still around. He changed his username from St1E to Stefan. He's still around. He comes by every so often. He's still a member too of the channel. He's like our longest. He's like the longest serving YouTube channel member. But I think my stream times don't work well for his schedule now, which sucks. But what are you gonna do? Also, thank you for the super chat, Suas. Kurt's very beautiful and professional UI. Thanks. Yeah, it's very professional. Emperor Glizzy, doesn't live streaming break your flow while coding? Oh, it definitely does. There are times where I'll just ignore chat, but I try to give
Did
chat
we just become best friends?
its due attention. Horse Games, thanks for subbing. I appreciate that. I miss all the trolling we have done. Yeah, we're not gonna troll. We're not a very troll friendly community. What currency is that? Star Trek credits? What, the super chat? I don't know actually what currency that is. Rupees, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Morning, Ryan. Good to see you. Thanks again for being a member, man. Yeah, see, there's Stefan's name right now. Stefan's name scrolling across. Oh, I guess you can't see it on the vertical, but on horizontal, you can see Stefan's member name. To be alerted when new transactions are available, listen for the sync updates available webhook. Okay. How does this guy work? Oh, hold on. Before we do that, let's go ahead and let's do a little cleanup before we commit this and merge this. So let's go to, we're going to move all this logic to an actual proper call. So let's go to, this will be account service.ts. Nah. Okay, hold on. Let's not do that. What did we change here? Okay, so added navigation property to institution for accounts. Feature infra, updated modeling to reflect new navigation property. This is going to be include accounts in institution DTO. API web. Handle adding accounts to institution. And then this is a, let's see, a test. Added test for getting available institutions. Right? Is that what I did? Yeah. Oh no. This is actually refactor. I think it just changed the name of things. Yeah, this is just a refactor. So this was just a renaming. Refactor. API.test. Updated model names. So let's push that up, and then we'll merge that in, and then we'll start working on the webhook support. How do I start learning programming? I'm confused. Have any tips? I have one really good tip for you, and it's very easy. This is what you do if you want to learn how to program. Add Emperor. Go here. And do whatever they say. That's my advice. Go to free code camp. Do whatever they say. Absolutely would have been earlier, but I slept in. Oh, no worries, man. I hope you slept good. Good to see you again. Just do it like he says. Pick a programming language and stick to it. Yeah, it's just the reason I always recommend free code camp is just because it's to me, learning to program is kind of like figuring out what diet you should use to lose weight. There's just so much conflicting information out there online that it just really helps to like have a really firm, concrete starting point that helps you kind of block out all the noise and just focus on the thing that they're telling you to do. So that's why I always recommend Free Code Camp, because I think they have a really nice website, they have good curriculum, they have a really wonderful community, a very engaged and active community, pretty friendly, definitely kind and welcoming of people who are new to the field. So that's why I always push people there. I slept like a baby now to nurse my hangover. How are you going to nurse your hangover? By writing some Lisp code? Oh shoot, I just deleted that branch. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. I was trying to leave feature branches up for you guys so that you could look at them, but I guess that one's gone. Check out the Steve Freeborn. Let's see, feature, add, webhook. Transaction web. Nah, I called out of work yesterday because I knew this would happen. I'll probably write some TypeScript. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that's good. It's good. It's very cool that you thought ahead. Free CodeCamp is my teacher 3 years ago. It taught me a lot. Now I'm jobless. Oh man, I'm really sorry you're jobless. But yeah, Free CodeCamp's great. I really, really enjoy Free CodeCamp. I wish you all the best though in finding a new job. I hope you find something. I know that's always a scary feeling. Sudo app install Python 3. You know how I feel about Python. I try to avoid it. I do have it installed though. Does Python have a version command? There you go. Yeah, I do have Python installed. I try to avoid it. Okay, so how do we do this? The webhook will fire in the sandbox environment as it would in production. It can also be manually triggered in sandbox by calling sandbox item fire webhook. After receipt of this webhook, the new changes can be fetched with the item from transaction sync. Okay. So the question is, how do I actually register a webhook? Let's use their AI. How do I register a webhook so that I receive sync update events from Plaid. I do like their little AI mascot icon thing. It's a platypus. That must be like their mascot. I don't understand how Steven can love C# and hate Python. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Let's see. When you create a link token, this is how users connect banks to your app. Specify your webhook endpoint in the webhook parameter. For example, products, webhook, Plaid, okay. The URL you provide should be a publicly accessible endpoint that can receive post requests from Plaid. Ensure transactions product is initialized. Include transactions in the products array so Plaid knows to enable transaction updates. Make an initial call. Plaid will not send you transaction webhooks until you have called the transaction sync endpoint at least once for a given item, usually after you've exchanged your public token for an access token. This signals to Plaid that you're ready to receive sync webhooks for that item. After this initial call, any future transaction updates will trigger a sync updates available. Okay. Listen for sync update. Okay, so we've got some significant changes we need to make actually to support this. So we need to figure out how we're going to deal with webhooks locally. We're probably going to have to make this some sort of configuration value. Some sort of webhook config value so that we can change it locally and also change it on deployment. And then we're already doing that. So then we need to make an initial call to the transaction sync endpoint, which needs to happen, I think, probably when we add the account. But we need to see what does this require. So you have to call this with the client ID, the access token, the secret, account ID. If provided, the returned updates in the cursor will only reflect the specified account's transactions. Omitting account ID returns updates for all accounts under the item. Note that specifying account ID effectively creates a separate incremental update stream and therefore a separate cursor for that account. If multiple accounts are queried this way, you will maintain multiple cursors, one per account ID. If you decide to begin filtering by account after using no account ID, start fresh with a null cursor and maintain separate account ID and cursor pairs going forward. Do not reuse any previously saved cursors, as this can cause pagination issues or incomplete data. A description of the update status. Transaction update status unknown. An array of accounts at the financial institutions associated with the transactions in this response. Only accounts that have associated transactions will be shown. So I guess what I'm trying to think about is, it seems like the way my application is built, I think I have a couple options where when I add the institution, I could call this endpoint, and I'm saying this more for my own benefit, not necessarily for your guys' benefit. I'm more of just rubber ducking out loud. But basically, I have a couple options, but I think so basically this endpoint can be called, and you can call it for just a single institution, and you're basically saying, okay, for any updates for accounts related to this institution, I want to receive updates. Or you can specify an account ID, which it sounds like then limits what updates you receive to just that account. So I think the way my application is built is we connect the institution, that's how we get the access token. Then when we add an account, that is when we're going to call the initial sync endpoint. And then when this sync endpoint returns, we have to store some stuff. We have to store, let's see, bounce. We have to store I think, a cursor or something. There was talk of a cursor. They really have like should have like a collapse all. Okay, cursor used for fetching any updates after the latest update provided in this response. The cursor obtained after all pages have been pulled, indicated by has more being false, will be valid for at least 1 year. The cursor should be persisted for later calls. If transactions are not yet available, this will be an empty string. If account ID is included in the request, the return cursor will reflect updates for that specific account. Okay. So we need to store this in our database for each account. And there was something else. What was the other thing we need to store? The cursor and what? It was there was 2 other things. We need to store them on the account. No, just the cursor, I guess. Yeah, just the cursor. Okay. This makes sense. I think I can do this. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Perry the Platypus? Yeah, there. It does kind of look like Perry the Platypus. Oh, this actually looks a little bit more robotic, though. You know, it looks like it's a robot platypus. Oh, I love this note here. Bill isn't perfect. He's just a robot. Hold on, how do I zoom in? Yeah. Bill isn't perfect. He's just a robot platypus that reads our docs for fun. You should treat his answers with the same healthy skepticism you might treat any other answer on the internet. This chat may be logged for quality and training purposes. Please don't send Bill any PII. He's scared of intimacy. All chats with Bill are subject to Plaid's privacy policy. So don't be putting your social security information into Plaid's AI tool. That's funny. His name is Bill. All right, guys. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to implement that today, but that's what we'll try to do tomorrow. Is we'll try to come back and implement the webhook functionality, or if I'm productive today, you'll come back tomorrow and I've already implemented it. Just depends. What is PII? Personally identifiable information. So, like, basically social security numbers, date of birth, first name, last. I mean, basically anything that can be used to personally identify you as an individual. I mean, obviously, with enough metadata, you can probably figure out a lot of things about an individual, regardless of if you have their PII data. But that's generally what it means. Good morning, Viably Subtle. Good to see you. See you, Emperor Grizzly. Good luck with your coding journey. Strange. Most of the bots seem to ask for credit card numbers with the first minute. those are some suspicious bots you're interacting with. Yeah, I wouldn't trust those bots. All right, I'm gonna get off here because I had to go to work, and I'm gonna try to have a nice, productive day ahead of me, both personally and professionally. So I wish you guys a very happy Tuesday. If you're new here and you want to come back and hang out in the future on stream, the best place to find us is live on YouTube and Twitch. I'm live most mornings from 4:15 a.m. to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I put that schedule in the stream if you'd like it. But it looks like it only went to Twitch and not YouTube. Is YouTube disconnected? Yeah, I wonder if my bot disconnected from YouTube. Huh. It's weird. It's not working. Any event. YouTube working fine. Yeah, I don't know why that's not working now. Now I'm distracted by that. Hold on. It may be that I need to refresh my integrations, stream apps, platforms. Oh, he's connected. Huh. I don't know. I'll copy and paste that message over to YouTube there for you. And then if you want to come back and hang out on Discord, the best place to find us is Discord, discord.stephenfreeborn.com. There's Steve's bot. And that's where you can find us when we're not live. So if we're live, we're usually live here in the mornings. Come hang out. If not, check the Discord. That's where the rest of us hang out. We're not live. All right, chat. I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Hope you had a great Monday. Good start to your week. If I'll see you tomorrow morning, that would be awesome. If I don't see you tomorrow morning, I hope you have a great Wednesday. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, chat. Bye. See you guys.